Good evening. Welcome to Hastings Mystery Theater. I'm your host and mystery master, Randall Schaefer. Tonight, the corridors of mystery take us to 1947 for a Columbia release, Blind Spot. Tonight, a writer of mystery novels is so upset by his life that he goes on a bender. His publisher has treated him unfairly in his mind. Well, when he sobers up, he learns that his publisher has been murdered. Well, the police think he's the killer, and he himself is not so sure he's not the killer. He has little memory from this long, drunken time. Our star is Chester Morris. He was born into a showbiz family in 1901. Well, he dropped out of school at age 15 to go on stage, and he made his first movie in 1929, and he worked steadily until the late 1930s when his career went into decline. But everything turned around in 1941 when he was cast in the role for which he is best remembered, Boston Blackie. Over the next several years, Columbia made 14 Boston Blackie movies, and he also played Boston Blackie on a radio show of the same name. Between Boston Blackie movies, he made lots of other B movies for Columbia, and tonight's movie, Blind Spot, is one of those other movies that he did in between his Boston Blackie movies. Well, World War II interrupted his career. He was too old to fight, but he volunteered to appear in USO shows where he entertained the troops doing magic. Well, when the Boston Blackie series finally ended in 1949, Chester Morris worked in television and on stage. But in 1968, he was diagnosed with cancer. And by 1970, the pain was just too great. He committed suicide with pills. Let's return to a happier time in 1947 and enjoy Blind Spot.
Maybe you've been seeing too many movies about authors lately. You know the kind. Those with penthouse apartments, glamour girl secretaries, fur-bearing wives, and stock in the building and loan. Well, I wasn't that variety. At least not on the afternoon in August when the trouble started. It seems that writing good books and writing books that sell are two different things. I had just about come to the end of my rope. I needed courage to do what I was forced to do that day. It isn't easy to beg money from a man you'd rather kick in the teeth. Let's get one thing straight. I hated Henry Small. He published my stuff because of prestige value. But he resented every dollar he had to pay me. What's more, he had me neatly tied to a vicious contract, which circumstances had forced me to sign, and which was locked securely in his office safe. There was no future for me while he had this in his possession.
You promised to send it up 2 hours ago. Well, the boy must have died, and I will too, unless I get something to eat. Look, can't you bring it up yourself? Bacon and tomato and whole wheat. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I want to see Small.
He's in conference and left word not to be disturbed. If you'll give me your name, Mr. Small will notify you by mail when it will be convenient for him to see you.
Oh. Well, look, sister. Convenient or not convenient, I'm going to see Small right away. So you just press one of your little buzzers there and tell him Mr. Andrews is outside.
I'm sorry, you can't see Mr. Small today.
Thank you.
Just a minute. I told you can't go in there.
Say, you must be a new piece of furniture in the office. Small always did go in for interior decorating.
You're drunk.
That's right. That's right. That's what comes from nipping on an empty stomach. Yeah, Small's quite a collector. Quite a collector. No ass, though. Just cheap, modern stuff.
What do you want? Gotta see you. Some other time. I'm busy right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Small. I tried to stop him.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Green. What do you mean by breaking in this way?
I tried to announce myself. I didn't know written requests for audience now required.
I'm too busy to see you this afternoon.
Now, look, Small, I didn't come all the way up here just because I was dying to see you. Or even to annoy you. Oh, that might have been worth the trip.
Well, if it's money you want, the answer's the same as last time. I'm a publisher, not a charity organization.
Not looking for charity, Small. You're the last man in the world I'd come to for that. All I want is what's due me. I happen to know my last novel sold over 2,000 copies.
If it did, which I doubt, the fact will appear on your next royalty statement.
And what am I supposed to do until then? Hibernate?
What you do is your own affair, Andrews. You wouldn't find yourself in this predicament if you'd forget about art and write stuff people want to read.
Oh, and what do you suggest? Something you can try to get banned? How about a gooey love story that'll sell serial rights, huh? Adam and Eve, in modern dress, of course. Or maybe you'd have me write a mystery. Turn myself into a sort of literary Jack the Ripper.
Mr. Harrison here hasn't done too badly with mysteries.
Hello. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. Ignore him completely. There is no other writer of psychological novels can touch you.
Thank you very much. Mysteries. Is that what you want? Do you seriously expect me to waste my time writing that pap? Maybe my books aren't popular. Maybe I haven't many readers. But at least those I do have aren't imbeciles.
Well, it isn't that bad. Some of the greatest minds of the world find this type of literature stimulating. Our late president, for example, was an avid reader of detective fiction, and besides, they aren't as easy to write as you may think.
Simple matter of carpentry. That's all. Well, literary plumbing. Look, you pick a murderer, and you confuse the reader by bombarding him with a lot of red herrings, like a Fulton Street fishmonger.
Don't pay any attention to him, Lloyd.
Well, I do. He's right in many respects. You forget the solutions must be completely logical as well as acceptable by the reader.
If I couldn't invent better mysteries than are being hacked out today, I'd quit writing and take up window dressing. And furthermore, I'm prepared to prove things. Hey, Small, look. Here. Small, would you be willing to write me out a little check for advance on a whodunit if I give you the synopsis of plot now, immediately, in fact, at once?
Andrews, you're drunk and you're talking through your hat. Here's $20. Get out.
Wait. You're embarrassingly rude. Let's listen to Mr. Andrews.
Oh, he's had too much to drink and he's just sounding off.
Oh, is that so? Well, as a matter of fact, I have something worked out. It's not even a minute ago. Shows you how easy it is. It's like falling off a log. Dangerous things, logs. More people get hurt that way.
Go on, Mr. Andrews. Tell us your story.
Story? Oh, yes, story. Yes, well, I'd had my murder take place in a locked and bolted room. Room locked and bolted on the inside. There are no windows at all, none.
It sounds like a coat closet or a Turkish bath. There are no rooms without windows. Be a good fellow, Andrews. There's my $20. Go out and finish getting drunk.
All right, there are windows then. But they're the kind that don't open. Like that one there. Can't open, you see. The room is air-conditioned. Cadaver, wealthy publisher maybe, is found stabbed to death in a locked and bolted room. Room locked and bolted from the inside. He's discovered by Detective Jeremiah K. Plumtree. That's a cute name, Jeremiah Plumtree. It was New England, their old family. Practically Plymouth Rock. He has a fetching little trick which will immediately endear him to a gentle reader. He eats caramels with their wrappers on. Great character, great. Oh, miss, I want to apologize. Sincerely sorry, deeply regret misunderstanding, plead forgiveness. Shouldn't have said what I did about small nut collecting antiques. But on second thought, perhaps it was the whiskey I'd put away. Or maybe it was because the nasty job I had to do was over. But I felt very light-hearted that evening after leaving Small. As far as I can remember, the world was an enormous red apple, and the moon was made of green cheese, and the stars were the diamond studs in some angel's vest. And every living, breathing human on Earth was better than he was, including myself. This surely called for a drink.
Good night, Miss Green.
Good night, Mr. Harrison.
Miss Green, I'm staying late tonight. I have some work to clean up. It's past 6. Do you mind staying?
No, sir. Shall I close the safe now?
Oh, I'll tend to that.
Brilliant fellow, that Andrews.
I beg your pardon, Lloyd?
I read everything he ever wrote. One of these days he will click, mark my word.
Oh, if and when he does click, I'll be around. I can pick up 6 10-year options on him.
Holy Toledo. That reminds me, what about rewriting my contract?
I'm sorry, Lloyd, but the answer's no. That's definite. This is a world of dog-eat-dog, you know.
Yes, but why should dog eat distinguished writer? You know, the only reason I didn't sue you yet was that to appear in court, you have to get up awfully early in the morning.
Don't lose your beauty sleep.
I wouldn't want to stop writing or go to another publisher.
Another publisher? Are you kidding?
Look.
Go on, Dad. Step lively.
Au revoir.
Well, Mr.
You want to know how foul deed was accomplished?
No, ain't interested. Look, Jack, you've had enough for one day. Why don't you go home?
Why don't you brush the hair out of your eyes and think for a minute, if possible? Locked and bolted room. Corpse stabbed. Death instantaneous. It's fascinating, huh?
Yeah, I'm all a Twitter. Listen, chum. The guy who runs this dump is a friend of mine. And on every shot of liquor, he makes about 200%. But when I see a nice guy like you get stiff, I worry. Can't help it. Ever since I saw that picture about the fella hawking his typewriter.
Oh.
Good evening, Mr. H. Be right with you. Haven't seen you around lately, Mr. H. I've been busy, Mike. Will you give me a martini? I'll go and wash up. Right, 2 hours.
Warm her up.
I ought to slip you a Mickey. You trying to kill yourself or something?
Can you think of a better way to die? Just imagine it. People kicking off all over the world. By the thousands. By the millions. I don't know the statistics.
I guess it's about 100%.
Being hit by cars and slipping in bathtubs. Being shot and stabbed. Stabbed in a locked and bolted room. How did murderer escape? Hmm? Seems the police as though he vanished into thin air.
Well, hi there. Did you come to get your drink on the house?
Yes, if your office still holds good.
Oh, sure it does. Hey, what happened to you? You're coming apart. You have an accident, miss?
How could man bolt door on inside from outside?
Just a lush. Don't pay him no attention, miss.
Detective Plumtree figured it out. Took him a little while, but he did it.
Mr. Andrews.
He did it. Everyone else failed. Sherlock Holmes, Humphrey Bogart. Well. If it isn't Small's well-upholstered bodyguard.
Mr. Andrews, I want to apologize for the way I acted upstairs. I was very rude. I didn't know who you were.
Oh, apology accepted, say no more.
I don't know what got into me. I'm not usually so...
Look, can I tell you a little secret? I wanted you to boil. I was needling you. I don't know why. I'll have to check my Freud. Oh, we'll figure it out later. Have a little drink.
Yes, thanks. Whiskey straight.
I only vaguely remember leaving the bar that evening and taking the elevator to the 32nd floor. They tell me I carried on a conversation with the elevator operator. But if I did, I can't remember what about or even who the man was. I was pretty wobbly on my feet when I stepped out of the elevator into Small's reception room. That chair. Hey, Small. Come on, open up. It's me, Andrews. What I was doing was wrong, but it could easily be interpreted as theft. I put this out of my mind. Here was a chance to break loose, be free of Small forever. I could have sung I was so happy. Now nothing at all could stand in my way. All right, I must have done it. But I was drunk, and I don't remember. Forget it. You know, everybody does silly things when they get tanked up. You know, I'll bet you've done a few silly things yourself.
Sure, I bounce rocks off my mother.
Well, why all the fuss? I'll sign another contract with Small, and then everything will be fixed up.
Look, Andrews, you're an educated man, so you probably know your rights. You don't have to talk to me.
But I want to talk. Why shouldn't I talk?
Well, maybe I don't look it, but I've been through school, too, so give me a little credit. I'm not here to pinch anybody for tearing up papers. I'm booking you on suspicion of murder.
Murder?
That's right. With an M.
Oh, no.
Don't waste your talent on me, my friend. Save your play acting for the jury. Me, I'm a rotten audience before I've had my coffee.
So who was it?
Your publisher, Henry Small, was found in you know what condition early this morning in his office. Hurry up, we haven't got all day.
You think I did it? Well, you must be out of your mind. I saw Small yesterday, sure, but it was before 6 o'clock. I've got witnesses.
Unofficially, I'd suggest that you shut your mouth till you see a lawyer, my friend. But that's your business. Tell me a fairy tale if you want it.
What time was he killed?
Small was in no condition to tell me. If you're ready, let's go. Look, Andrews, I'm trying to give you every break. Now, this morning, I told you to keep your mouth shut. But that was this morning. I wasn't assigned to the case then. I'm on it now, and I want to clean it up as quick as possible.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. You didn't do it. I've got enough to rate a conviction already. The elevator man took you up to the 32nd floor at about the time the medical examiner said that Small was killed. You were telling all of 34th Street about knocking off a man in a locked and bolted room. We find you with a stolen contract in your possession. We've got the motive, we've got enough direct evidence to clinch the case.
All you haven't got is a confession.
A man's not permitted to plead guilty to a capital offense in this state, so confession doesn't mean much. I don't want your confession. All I want to know is how you did it. I'll admit we were up a tree on that. It doesn't seem possible. It isn't possible. Nobody could murder a man, bolt the door on the inside, and get away. There's no way out of that room but the door. How'd you work it, Andrews?
I used vanishing cream.
Don't get fresh. I don't want to lose my temper. Maybe you think I'm an old man, but don't let the gray hairs fool you.
Sorry.
You're going to write some kind of story about a murder committed in just such a manner.
That's right.
And you told the story, you claim, to one Evelyn Green, a receptionist who worked for Small.
Yeah.
But forgetting Small for a minute, how are you going to solve the murder in your book?
Now, look, I've told you over 100 times I can't remember. Especially with this hangover. The whole afternoon and evenings are blank. Look, why don't you bring the girl in and ask her? Maybe she can tell you. But the chances are my solution won't help you. As you know, I wasn't exactly sober.
You aren't too drunk to steal that contract and tear it up, Andrews. I'm getting sick of this. For the last time, how are you going to commit the murder in the book? Okay, that does it. If you're innocent, you'd want to help. Now I'm going to sweat out the case and slap you into the chair.
I don't remember, and I don't. Why don't you ask the girl?
The girl hasn't shown up yet, that's why. But we've got a general alarm out for her.
She didn't come to work?
And she hasn't been home either. Or she may turn up in the morgue, which wouldn't surprise me because you were with her last night. But if she's still alive, we'll get her. And when we do, we'll have all we need. You want to reconsider?
There's nothing to reconsider.
At 7:35. Arriving at 7:50, we contacted the janitor and were taken up to the 32nd floor. The outer office door had already been opened by the janitor, but the door to the private office was locked. We asked the janitor to open it with a pass key, and none of them fit. This took about 10 minutes. Then he remembered that Small had changed the lock some months before. We noticed through the crack that the door was bolted from the inside. Then we broke in.
I want an inventory of everything in this office and one outside by morning, understand?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant, there's a guy out there. Says his name is Harrison. Wants to see you.
Okay, Haggard. Oh, hello.
The cops must really love to wreck a place. Holy Toledo. Look what happened to Small's pretty office.
You don't hear him complaining, do you? How are you, Lloyd?
Wet and consequently in a foul mood, but I wanted to talk to you, so I came up to see you.
Glad you did. This is right in your line. The murder in the locked room. But frankly, I'm stuck. I just can't figure it out.
That's because you carry a badge, Fred. Police officers have no imagination. They're plodders. Only amateurs can solve a crime. You read enough mysteries to know that.
There doesn't seem to be any answer to it. Small didn't commit suicide, that I'm sure of. But if he was murdered, how did the door get bolted on the inside?
You mean to say the door was bolted on the inside? It reminds me of...
What?
Oh, a story.
What story?
Story?
If you mean the one that Andrews was trying to sell Small, I know all about it. But Andrews isn't talking. I tried to sweat it out of him, but that guy pumps ice water.
Must be the chasers he had last night. I suppose in your usual impulsive manner you arrested Andrews. It's the wrong man, Fred. Andrews is not the type to commit homicide, no matter how strong the provocation might be.
You and your theories. No man's the type to commit homicide until he catches some guy with long sideburns, smiling at his frow, or sees his name written on a fat will or something. Andrews is guilty, all right.
Well, I think you never get a conviction unless you can demonstrate how the thing was done. I say, Fred, I have an idea. Andrews is a brilliant writer, an artist, and sensitive. If you bully him, he'll close up like a clam. Why don't you turn him loose in my custody?
Nothing doing, Lloyd.
Well, he won't try to escape, and if he does, he won't get far. Maybe I can dig out the information you are after.
I've already booked him.
Well, unbook him.
I wouldn't consider it.
Fred, you will look awfully silly telling the grand jury that Andrews killed Small and then walked out nonchalantly through the...
Well, it's a lot better than my suite in the Tombs. Cozy.
Oh, thank you. Fortunately, they don't show, but it's built entirely of mutilated bodies, hundreds and hundreds of them. Very profitable, those literary murders of mine. Sit down. I'll get you a drink.
Nothing to drink, thanks. After last night, I'm on the wagon for life.
Oh, why did I hear this line before? Oh, I know. I said it 300-400 times.
Thanks.
I hope you don't mind if I have.
No, not so. Thanks. Why are you doing all this for me, Mr. Harrison? We only met for a few minutes yesterday, and, well, after all, I might be guilty.
Yes, you might be. But frankly, I don't care. Small was the worst kind of a stinker. And a pair of shears in his back, well, as the saying goes, on him it looks good. But you were wrong about our meeting. We met long ago. Yes, in the pages of your books.
Oh.
I read every one of them several times.
Well, thanks.
I want to help you, Jeff, but we've got to move fast before Applegate can pin this murder on you. The police simply hate unsolved crimes. Maybe it's bad publicity. Or maybe because they've frequently cost them their jobs.
And I'm their unemployment insurance, huh?
Yeah. So it seems.
I remember everything about the story I was going to write, but the important part, the solution. That is, if there was a solution. Of course, I may have just imagined that I had it logically solved.
Yeah, and most probably the case. Yes, under the influence of alcohol, the most impossible things seem possible.
Yeah. If only the police would find that girl, Evelyn Green.
Are you sure you told it to her?
Yes, I'm dead sure. As I recall, it was a rather simple matter for the murderer to commit the crime and then leave the room with the door bolted on the inside.
It must have been the invisible man. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, they will surely pick up this Green girl. Don't worry, then we'll know.
The bartender, the one that works in the cocktail lounge in the building. I think I told the solution to him, too. Oh, I'm not sure.
But it seems you broadcasted the solution to everybody in South. Only everybody seems to have as bad memory as you have.
That night after Harrison left me, I couldn't sleep. Possibly it was the heat, which the rain had done no more than intensify, and which drained a person's vitality like 10,000 bloodthirsty dwarves. Or maybe it was because I was only then beginning to realize that I wasn't free, as I thought. as much a prisoner of Lieutenant Applegate as if I was locked in the tombs. Suddenly, it struck me that there was no time to lose. That even this false freedom was ticking away, to where I'd be rearrested in the morning. Applegate wasn't one to wait long for anything. I knew I would have to clear myself quickly or find myself where he threatened he'd put me. In the electric chair. My watch was unavailable, so I had no idea what time it was. But I knew it must be very late. Open up! Come on, open up. I've got to ask you something.
What do you want? You can't come in. The building's closed from the night. Come back in the morning.
That'll be too late.
Wait a minute. You can't come in.
I've got to find that bartender.
Wait. Well, you're supposed to be in jail. What are you doing here?
He's about 5'7", bald fella. You know the one I mean?
Now, look, mister. I had to tell the truth. I didn't want to get you or anyone else in trouble, but the cops...
Never mind about that. I want to find that bartender.
He comes to work at noon.
Do you know his phone number?
No, he hasn't got a phone.
Where does he live?
Well, I know the house, but I forgot the number.
Well, take me there.
Impossible. I'm on duty.
Now, look, miss.
Oh, okay, mister. I'll take you to him. But wait till I get my coat.
Well, hurry up. Come on, hurry up.
What do you want with Mike? I wouldn't want nothing to happen to him. No, sir, not to him I wouldn't. Well, he's just like a brother.
Nothing's going to happen to him. I just want to ask him something.
At this time of the night? What do you want to ask him?
I want to find out how to unbolt a door from the outside. Come on. Come on, wake up. Hey, come on, you...
Don't move. I'm turning you over to the cops. I had a feeling you were going to bump off poor Mike.
You're crazy. He was dead when we came in. You know I couldn't have done it.
I don't know nothing of the kind. You can't fool me. I'm no dummy. No, sir, I'm no dummy. You killed him, you dirty murderer. Then you went to get me so you could have an alibi. Help! Help!
Hey, cut that out.
Police! Police!
Tried to help myself, but now things were a million times worse. Inside of 15 minutes, every one of New York's 20,000 policemen would be scouring the city for me with orders to shoot.
What a wonderful party.
I sure had a good time.
I had to fight to bear the pain, but more than that, I had to fight to keep from fainting. Each second, I felt myself growing weaker. My shoulder throbbed. A .45 caliber toothache. pay and could just get my breath and have a smoke. But it was no dice. If that leg of the law caught the flicker of that match, Applegate would be smiling at me again in the wrong places.
We've got to get out of here.
I've been trying to find you.
As soon as I read the papers, I knew they'd arrest you and come looking for me. So I hurried over here. Then they put him outside and I was stuck. I've been here for hours. Oh, Jeff, why'd you do it? Small was no good, but did you have to ruin your life? You've got so much to live for. Well, never mind. It's too late to think about that now. I've got some money. Not much, but enough to get us to Canada. Oh, you're hurt.
Look, I told you a story last night. About a murder in a bolted room. How was it done? How did murderer get out of room bolted from inside? You've got to remember. I was... Quiet. I've got to know about that story.
No, don't talk. He'll hear us.
What about that story?
I don't know what you're talking about. If you told me any story, I can't remember it. We have to walk now. We better start thinking of how to get out of here.
You mean you don't remember the story about the murdered guy in the bolted room?
You're a little tight.
What's your game, Goldilocks?
What do you mean?
Now, look, I'm a guy who forgets things when he's drunk. I've left more things in bars, from overcoats to dames I brought in. But if I forget everything else about last night, I remember one thing. I told you that story. What are you doing here, anyway? I'm a murderer. You've already tried and convicted me. Why did you come here?
That should answer your question. Jeff.
I've got you pegged now. It's as obvious as those tight dresses you wear, the paint you smear in your face, and the perfume you sprinkle here and there to make you smell good. You came here tonight because as long as there was a guy named Andrews in the world, you wouldn't be safe. I told you last night how to commit the perfect crime, and you went out and committed it. Oh, don't look so innocent. You can drop that expression number 2. Yeah, and I remember something else. You came in the bar last night, you were upset. Your dress was torn. Small, in his usual subtle manner, had been playing Romeo. I don't know what went on up there, but whatever did, you hated him. The only reason you didn't kill him then was your fear of being caught. But you lost that fear when I explained my story to you. So you went back upstairs and tickled him with those shears.
That's not true, Jeff.
Well, as far as you were concerned, it was in the bag. Sure. A drunk had given you a foolproof idea of getting away with a murder which he'd forget all about in the morning. You didn't count on it pinning the crime on me, did you? Or did you? Oh, it doesn't matter now. You're through. And don't think you can soften me up with those tears. You made the mistake of thinking you could hook me without my wriggling a little.
It's not true, Jeff. Not a word is true. Why do you think I risked coming here?
I know. You came because you love me. Sure. Listen, you don't understand. You've got the wrong shunt. Violins hurt my ears. And when the temperature's up, I drink a bottle of beer. And if I want poetry, I read Walt Whitman.
I came here because I knew you were in trouble.
Oh, get the Girl Scout.
Because as soon as I read the papers, I knew you'd killed Small. You don't have to lie to me, Jeff.
Oh, grow up and wash behind your ears, will you? I'm going to get out of here. There's a lot of things I've got to find out before the cops catch up to me again.
This coat has blood on it. Haven't you got another?
Yes, in there.
Do you really think I killed Small?
Yes.
Okay, O'Reilly, I'm your relief.
Right.
Hey, Charlie, you forgot your coat.
Calling all cars. Be on the lookout for Jeffrey Andrews, murder suspect. Last seen vicinity, Greenwich Avenue. May be accompanied by blonde woman companion. Height 5 feet 10 inches. Weight 165 pounds. Dark hair, dark eyes. He may be armed.
Jeff, what are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll never get out of New York. They'll be watching every bus and railroad station. Probably by this time, they'll have our names and descriptions teletyped all over the map.
We can't stay here. Come on, let's pay the check and get out.
I'm afraid this will have to be on you.
It's all right. Lucky for us, yesterday was payday. I've got almost $60. Anything the matter?
What did you do, rob Small's body, or was it the bartender you rolled? Well, why the innocent stare? You know where you dropped the mate to this earring? In a certain brownstone house off 9th Avenue. There was a certain body whose name I don't know.
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know, huh? I'll bet you don't. I've got to admit, you almost had me fooled. Sure. I'm a sucker for those big brown eyes. But I've got eyes, too. And what I saw next to that bartender's corpse was no mirage.
Jeff, do you mean there's been another murder?
Yeah, you're developing a bad habit.
Don't kid, Jeff. I didn't kill anybody.
Oh, sure. Sure, Small and that bartender died of old age. Come on.
You found my earring somewhere?
Just where you dropped it. You should be more careful.
But Jeff, I tell you, I left that earring in the office. I don't know how it got to wherever you say you saw it.
That's something for the police to find out. I'm taking you down there right now.
But Jeff, I swear to you, I didn't do it. You'll just get caught if you try to turn me in. They've got all kinds of evidence against you. You go to the chair.
What do I have to do? Drag you by the hair? Police headquarters, Center Street. Man as soon as look at him. I hope I never lay eyes on you again. I'm not going to turn you in.
Oh, Jeff.
Now cut that stuff. I'm liable to change my mind. I'm getting out of here. If you're smart, you'll take that $60 and buy the longest strip of railroad ticket you can.
Jeff, you do like me. This proves it. If you didn't, you'd turn me in.
The only thing this proves is that I'm slightly moronic.
That'll be 85 cents, Mac.
You've got a couple of hours, that's all. And you're on your own. I wish you luck. What am I doing? You got all the money. Holy.
What is it?
You see this? Do you know what it means?
Well, I don't understand.
It means I told Small my story, solution and all. He never would have parted with this kind of money if I hadn't.
Yes, I see. And it also means...
But there was one other person I told the solution to. Sure, there was someone else in the office when I told it.
Lloyd Harrison.
Hey, the little lady, $1 silver. Driver, head for Park Avenue and 81st.
Right.
We've got to hurry. Unless I'm out of my mind, that's the guy who killed Cock Robin. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And take your hand out of that drawer.
I was only fumbling for my glasses. If I was to be robbed, I want the satisfaction of seeing how it's done. You scared me, Jeff. Holy Toledo, what are you doing with this pistol? Oh, and isn't this Miss Green?
Well, you're going down to headquarters and tell them exactly how you killed Small. I'm a double. I'm in a hurry. When I'm in a hurry, I forget my manners. I do things I regret later, like kicking in people's teeth. Beautiful performance, Mr. Harrison. You're my friend, going to help me, all for the sake of art. You knew perfectly well how that crime was committed in my story. You were in Small's office when I told it. I can prove it.
You don't have to prove it. I was there. I heard the solution, too. Isn't it pretty clever, too?
Thank you.
You're welcome. But you are wrong about my killing Small. However richly he may have deserved it.
Evelyn, get Center Street on the phone. Ask for Lieutenant Applegate.
Don't do it, Miss Green. I think you better wait and listen to what I have to say.
Save it for Applegate.
Information? Police headquarters, please, Center Street.
Jeff, I told you what I think of your work. I meant every word of it.
Forget it, Harrison. With any other writer, your aim might be good. Praise his books and he'll watch you murder his mother. But after 10 years on donuts and coffee, my ego is calloused.
Yes, thank you. I've got it.
It would be a great pity if you landed in the electric chair like a common criminal.
I'm terrified.
Because you see, you killed Small, Jeff. You're surprised. You don't believe me. I know what I'm talking about. I hope you never find out. That I'd never be forced to tell you this. Because it might affect your work. That's why I lied. I pretended not to know how the thing was done. But now I must tell you. For your own sake. If I don't, you run straight back in Applegate's net.
Hello, police headquarters. Homicide detail, please.
As you know, you forget things if you drink too much. That's fairly common. I met this frequently in my studies of dipsomaniacs.
Homicide? Is Lieutenant Applegate there? Yes, I know what time it is.
Take yourself now. You even forgot the perfectly simple solution of the mystery Small became so enthusiastic about, or at least you claim you forgot it.
What do you mean by that?
I'll get to this later. First, will you grant me that your memory fails when you are under the influence of liquor?
So what?
So simply this. Why couldn't you have rammed those shades into Small last night? Jeff, I'm fighting for you. I'm trying to help. But consult the preponderance of evidence that says you did. You were the only one who was taken up to the 32nd floor last night. The elevator operator testified that you were so drunk you could hardly walk. Everything points to this. You entered, quarreled with Small about your contract, killed him, and tore it up. You can't deny having their pieces in your possession.
Well, will you please find out if he's there or not? It's very important. It's about the Andrews case.
You killed him precisely the way you planned to kill the victim in your book. It wasn't premeditated. It just happened to be in the back of your mind. Look, Jeff, you are a psychological novelist of some distinction. There is nothing, utterly nothing I could teach you of the workings of a human mind, conscious or subconscious.
It won't work, Harrison.
You've got to get the ugly facts into the light. The truth. It'll be easier, Jeff. Think for a moment. You claim you forgot the solution of your story. Is this really the case? My contention is that you only claim you forgot because your conscious mind cannot bear what your subconscious mind knows only too well. You not only remember how the thing could be done, but how it was done. I'll prove it. But first, put that gun down. We don't want it to go off, do we? Relax, Jeff. You got to trust me. You got to cooperate. Don't be a mental coward. Empty yourself of the thing you attempt to bury in your mind. Relax. Tell us, how were you going to solve the crime in your story? What did the murderer do after he struck his victim down?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
He goes to the door.
Of course. Then what?
He tries the bolt.
And?
He winds a piece of string around the knob on the bolt. He opens the door and goes out, holding on to both ends of the string.
And finally?
He pulls the string and bolts the door. He then releases one end of the string and pulls the other through the crack in the door.
You see, Jeff, you never really forget it for one instant. You only wanted to forget, to blot it out of your mind. You had to do this, or admit to yourself that you killed Small. You got to get away, Jeff. Applegate is going to pin this crime on someone, and that someone is going to be you. Of course, I could hire a clever attorney and get you off with a plea of temporary insanity, but that wouldn't do you much good. Why not leave the country? Money can get you out, and money is what I am made of. I can let you have whatever you want, but that will be my contribution to art, the only contribution I am ever likely to make.
Why not? And I'll go with you if you let me.
You've got to keep on writing great things. Your continued writing is more important than all the Smalls, Applegates, and all the trivial little crimes in the world. I throw the police off the trail. I befuddle them with red herrings. I think I can do it easily, at least for a day or two, and by that time...
By that time, I should have all three of you locked up as neat as you please. I'm surprised at you, Lloyd. This makes you an accessory after the fact. Aiding and abetting a suspected criminal.
I am ashamed of you, Fred, after all I've tried to teach you of police work.
You teach me?
You have nothing on Andrews, nothing but circumstantial evidence. Holy Toledo, you'll be laughed out of court. Why don't you save yourself a lot of embarrassment?
Andrews? I'm placing you under arrest on suspicion of murder. It's my duty to warn you that anything you say may be used against you.
The sun is almost up. Fred, why don't you let the fellow get some sleep? He needs it badly.
I get your special officer's card yesterday, and today you're trying to tell me how to run the homicide squad.
Well, I thought you said the whole case you have wrapped up in a cellophane bag. What's the matter, Freddy? You afraid the cellophane bag won't hold water?
Don't outsmart yourself. I could hold you for advising a man to escape. I never thought you'd try to circumvent the law.
I've been circumventing the law for years, usually in the first chapter. I'd like to know what are you going to trade to the jury for a conviction.
Just Andrew's confession, that's all.
What confession?
It's a minor detail. You want to electrocute a man just because he thinks that's a plot. He's a writer. That's his trade.
Yes, I know. It's an amazing coincidence. It just so happens that Small's murder is an exact parallel.
I was drunk. I may have told the story to a lot of people.
And a lot of people didn't like Small. I think Andrews ought to sue the murderer for plagiarism.
You literary lads are wasting your time.
I'll write the last chapter in court. Well, I was awfully drunk. If I could only remember for sure.
Don't let it throw you, Jeff. Take it easy.
Take it easy? What do you mean easy? I'm sick. I'm tired. How much kicking around can a man stand?
In a few minutes, I'm going to call my lawyer. Don't worry. The story you told me doesn't prove anything.
Oh, but it does. It'll prove anything they want to make of it. How do I know? I was out, paralyzed. Maybe I did kill Small. It was all a blank. Maybe I did.
No, maybe you did.
All right, so I killed him.
Jeff, shut up. You don't know what you're saying.
I know very well what I'm saying. I killed Small just like I told Harrison. That's the story you cops want. That's a confession, Lieutenant. A real 2300-volt confession. Have your stooge take it down.
Take him out and let him sleep it off.
Andrews, just so you'll have a good sleep with nothing more on your conscience, why don't you admit that you killed that bartender, too?
Applegate, you're a stink.
Why don't you leave him alone?
You've got your signals mixed, Lieutenant. I didn't kill that bartender.
No?
No, and get this. I'm all out of proportion. That means I don't frame very well.
Listen, Andrews, it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been chasing you all over New York, picking up bodies you left behind.
Now, I may have killed Small. I was drunk and I don't remember. I guess I did it all right. But the bartender was dead when I got there, and I wasn't drinking this time. I know I didn't kill him.
All the evidence...
All the evidence you've dreamed up, yes.
Well, if you didn't do it, she did. You're a little careless with your earrings, aren't you, Miss Green? And don't tell me it isn't yours, because we have the mate to it. Picked it up in your desk.
Why should I have killed him?
Might have been this way. Your boyfriend here told the late bartender the secret of walking through a bolted door. So to protect him, you felt you had to kill the bartender. It's very simple.
Wait a minute. You say you found her earring in a desk in the office?
Right.
And the other beside the bartender's body?
Right.
Does it match this?
They match.
Just a minute. You found one earring in my desk and the other beside the bartender's body?
Right.
Well, I don't have 3 ears.
Applegate, homicide. Have Mac take a look for that earring we found in Small's office. Right away. I'll hold on. It's gold. It's fancy. What's that? Thanks. It's missing.
Oh, I knew it. The earring you found in my office was the same one that was found by the bartender.
Right. Come to think of it, Lloyd, you're the only person aside from my own men who was anywhere near that earring.
Oh, no. Not that, Fred. What would I do with one earring?
You're the authority on red herrings. You stab the bartender, plant the earring, and throw suspicion on either Andrews here or the girl. Perfect whodunit literature.
Sure, but you forget that Mike makes the best martinis in town. I wouldn't kill a guy like that.
The most important thing is, why should you have wanted to kill Small?
Everybody wanted to kill Small. I was one of his few friends.
Just a minute, Mr. Harrison. What about that trouble you were having with him?
Why, Miss Green,
What was that slight misunderstanding over your contract?
Well, I'm small and I misunderstood each other on and off for 10 years. What is this anyway? The contract is still in effect.
Now that the contract's disappeared, this is a list of the documents taken from small safe. There's no mention of your contract.
Holy Toledo, that tops everything. You are accusing me of murdering 2 people for no apparent reason and stealing an idea from a fellow author. Applegate. I'm disgusted.
Yes, you did. You killed poor Mike. He was my best friend. He was a good man, and you killed him.
Who is this character?
Mike told me about that night in the bar, so it'll do no good for you to lie.
Fantastic.
At first, I thought he did it. But then I remembered what Mike told me. The night Mr. Small was murdered, you were down in the bar. You ordered a drink and then you left the table. Mike thought you'd gone to wash your hands, but you went to the fire stairs and climbed 32 floors. He saw you when you came back, coming out of the fire exit.
Man is crazy. He ought to be restrained.
Mike was afraid. He came and told me. But me, I'm not afraid.
All right.
Good.
All right. Stay where you are, Fred. I didn't think it would work out this way, but unfortunately you cannot have it all the time. I intend to leave this office as calmly as I entered. But before I go, I take that gun. Not you, Fred. Jeff, if you please. By the barrel, please. That's far enough. Toss it to me.
Jeff, look out.
Get the doctor.
Don't be sorry, Fred. Line of duty and all that sort of thing. Take it easy, Lloyd. Killing Small, I did all the writers a favor. It's a public improvement.
You didn't kill him just over a contract, Lloyd. Do you want to tell me?
Sure. Because he threatened to expose me for the thief I am.
What did you steal?
Another man's brains. I used a ghostwriter. Starting with a ghostwriter is just like starting with drugs. You can't quit. Easy, fella, easy. That's just it. It was too easy. I had my name engraved on another man's pen. If I were exposed.
I understand. You'd lose your reputation. No other publisher would have you.
Reputation. It would have meant to move from the penthouse to the cellar like Jeff.
How does the bartender fit into it, Lloyd?
I didn't want to kill him. I had to. Now I'm going to die of a gunshot. In my books, I killed thousands of people in thousands of interesting ways. Strange acids, arrows dipped in poison, even snake bites. And now a gunshot. Holy Toledo.
Get me the morgue. Come on, I'm going to take you home.
But you don't know where I live.
My watch was still unavailable. So I didn't know. Well, I didn't care what time it was. But the sun was coming up. And it looked like it would turn out to be another hot day.
Hastings Mystery Theater is produced for the local cable channel in Hastings, Michigan, USA. We are rated as one of the best 100 small towns in America. Hastings, Michigan. Look us up on the internet. Take a look at some of the reasons we are one of the best 100 small towns in America. And maybe you'll see why those of us who live here really like living in Hastings, Michigan. And also, continue to watch Hastings Mystery Theater here on YouTube. Post your comments, like, and subscribe. Thank you.